Gail Kaaialii, a scientist who is also an endurance athlete. A world-class outrigger canoeist, she works hard each day to keep her body in top physical condition. Kaaialii lives and trains in Hawaii.
As much in the center of the quadrant as you can.
Okay.
And then, guys, when we get to the spot and we lay the quadrant down, you're trying to figure out what species. It's easy to see why people may think that we are better than other organisms, or an evolutionary leap forward, or the top of the scale. That's not a belief that's easy for me to see. In fact, I tend to believe otherwise.
Kaaialii and her students will search the ocean floor for creatures many would consider bizarre. Animals entirely different from us, yet remarkably successful.
Guys, ready?
Ready.
Yeah. Let's get going. When you investigate the lives of other organisms and you see that each is interesting and wonderful, you start to realize that really the question of is anybody better than becomes moot, irrelevant. It's not something you would want to ask. You start wanting to ask, how do the others work? They're so neat.
When Kaaialii began her career in marine biology, this high-energy athlete was attracted to a group of animals that barely seem alive at all. She fell in love with Echinoderms. For her, strangely shaped animals like the sea cucumber and the spiky sea urchin became objects of fascination.
I study a group of animals called echinoderms, and they occur all over the world in oceans. If you first come up on an echinoderm, maybe you haven't seen one before, maybe you've heard of them, but you haven't seen one, you, first of all, might not know what it is. You might think it's a plant. You might think it's a flower. A lot of them are named after flowers. Maybe you know it's an animal, maybe you've heard of them, but then your mind might turn to what is the thing doing? It's really hard to relate to what they're doing because it might not be moving fast, because it doesn't have a face. The major reason I study echinoderms is that they are weird. They have a different way of living than I am used to. And if you look closely, they get weirder. But once you start to see what they do, you realize how successful they are at meeting the same basic requirements for life that we meet, and that they do it just as well, but in a different way. Culturally, maybe we've been told that we are better than other organisms, or an evolutionary leap forward, or the top of the scale. Echinoderms teach us that you don't need eyes, you don't need ears, you don't need to be able to run fast to be a successful organism. You don't even need a brain.